so many barbershops are finding it hard to get staff. And they ask me, and these are famous barbershops, which I'm not going to name. And it is due to the fact that, especially after COVID, it's changed everything. So my best advice is that the barbershops actually start their own training program to develop staff, and they're going to have to see it as an investment, like an apprenticeship program. So we're actually going to have to then go back to the original ways to become a barber. Because of the lockdowns, the students on my course, they were behind because of what happened to the world. I taught them for free for 8 months in order for them to pass their EPA exams, their tests, in order to qualify as barbers.
What would be your advice to a 17-year-old school leaver that was thinking about barbering, or a 32-year-old plumber who hates being a plumber and wants to retrain as a barber? Hi there, I'm Anthony Laban, and you're watching the Noble Barber Podcast. We're here to cut through the crap of the industry and give the answers, or at least try and find the answers to the problems that all of us as business owners struggle with every day. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoy the episode. Hi, welcome to the Noble Barber. We are at Barber Connect. As you can hear from the surrounding noise, I'm sitting here with Sid Sottung. Hi, Sid. Great to meet you properly.
Great to meet you too.
Appreciated.
Thank you.
Well, we're here to really talk about, education, I guess. Yeah, you're, as far as I can see, one of the most kind of respected educators that's working in the UK or the world at the moment. And how you feel things are changing.
Yeah, I mean, for myself, and I'm very grateful, and that's so nice of you to say that. I am not the world's best barber or educator or hairdresser, but I will always try my best. And I think that's one of the things that I've always tried to imply for my learners, my students all around the world. And to me, teaching is the key thing. But I've been doing this for 35 years now. So I think that's why a lot of people know me or know my name. It's just because I've been teaching for over 25 years. And I do believe in developing the next generation of barbers and hairdressers. And because I think when we look back, as our age group, as we look back, I mean, we always think about the one teacher that changed our life in school, in college, or, cosmetology school, barbering school. And that's what we need to give back to the young generation today in order to pass the tradition of barbering and hairdressing.
Yeah.
So it's a key important factor in my life.
And your students, the people you're finding you're educating more of now, are these existing barbers wanting to upskill, or are you meeting more younger barbers or younger people wanting to come into the industry?
Yeah, so right now I'm having a combination of both. So for example, also with trends, I think trends play a big important part in education. For example, even though I'll go to the colleges where I'll teach the young generation or the absolute beginners, which I absolutely love, because it puts me in check, because it keeps my ego in place. Because when you show, or when you see the smile in a young person's eyes when they first do their first haircut, it's priceless.
Yeah.
So, and then I also try and inspire the next generation, the existing barbers, with delving into creativity. The reason why is because creativity and the next level of breaking boundaries of haircuts and styles, and to develop the next fashion-forward way of thinking.
Yeah.
So if we could create or inspire the next Vidal Sassoon or A.B. Moeller, who's the godfather of education for barbering, I think if we could just do a little inspiration, you never know who the next person's going to be.
Yeah.
And I think we have to take responsibility as older gentlemen, I'm not saying you're that old, but we're in the same age, I think we need to take responsibility as we could pass on some type of influence in the younger generation.
Yeah, and I think that's sometimes got a bit lost. I speak to a lot of new barbershop owners who aren't putting a supportive training package together, that are unhappy about the quality of the trained younger barbers coming in, not shop ready, not barbers, think they're barbers, and this kind of phrasing, which I'm sure you've heard.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're seeing this real kind of rebirth of all these academies that are doing 9, 12, 15-week courses. There seems to be this kind of hinterland of how to get into it.
Yeah, the thing about it is when you break it down, right? I totally see what you're saying. With just say with apprenticeship programs, what happens is that you know it's a very difficult stage because in the world of barbering, in certain barbershops where they can't they don't employ staff.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, in order to have an apprentice, you have to employ them. And the thing is, so that means you're paying for 4 days of work, employed, giving them holiday pay, sick pay, whatever, and then 1 day of training you pay for at the college. So that model of education is very tricky because especially if you have a lot of barbershops, cash in hand or self-employed, it's very difficult to do that. So then the government, their stipend or what they offer those barbershops is only about £1,000.
Yeah.
So it's not enticing enough. So that's why with academies now, they are very, very useful because just say if you have a 12-week program, you know what? As long as those educators are doing the best they can, but also the thing is, what social media has shown is that they made barbering like trendy or like a rock star lifestyle or an easy job to do.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is it's very difficult to even get experienced staff. So when these barbershops are looking for staff, they're not going to get someone with 10 years of experience because if you got 10 years of experience, you might want to open up your own place or go self-employed or rent a chair.
Yeah.
So the education system has to have a total overhaul. That's my personal opinion.
I agree.
And I know it could be, it could seem controversial, and the thing is, and that's what's happened, especially after the lockdown, after the COVID happened, people had a different change of light, and the industry is paying for that massively in both. And the funniest thing is, this is not just in the UK where I am, but this is also happening around the world.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, of course, when I travel, I go to Italy. I was in Romania. I was in, let's see, where was I? I was in Serbia, and I was in Prague on a recent trip with Captain Fawcett Products because I'm the head of education for them. And so that was one of the things is that, so many barbershops are finding it hard to get staff. And they ask me, and these are famous barbershops, which I'm not going to name, and they're finding it difficult. So it is, and it is due to the fact that, especially after COVID, it's changed everything. So my best advice is that the barbershops actually start their own training program to develop staff, and they're going to have to see it as an investment, like an apprenticeship program. So we're actually going to have to then go back to the old ways or the original ways to become a barber.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the best route. So
I mean, I think that's the difficult. You say about the government. I mean, yes. I mean, we employ and we have apprentices working with my company. But we get now £500 payback from the education provider.
Yeah.
Who assess them once a month. We do all the training. But the providers are getting paid £11,000 by the government. And so this distribution of cash is very lost. That essentially we can't get access to it as barbers or hairdressers. The training providers can, but all they're doing is ticking boxes.
That's the thing is, so I'll give you a very, very quick story. So after, during lockdowns, what happened was, especially for the apprenticeship program for barbering, you only have a year. So when I had my apprenticeship program, so I got paid by the government once a month for the year. But because of the lockdowns, so the students on my course, they were behind because of the way what happened to the world. So I made sure that my students, I taught them for free for 8 months in order for them to pass their EPA exams, their tests, their final exams, in order to qualify as barbers. And that was the thing is because I didn't have to do that.
No.
Of course, we could just tick boxes. Come on now. It's easier to tick boxes. But at the end of the day, that's still my name on that. And also the thing is, I have to take value in a person's life because my biggest success story are my students.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think especially, I've reached a point in my life where, I'm very grateful. I've reached so much on my bucket list and all my accomplishments. Now it's giving back to the industry and making sure that if we can make like a strong impact, I mean, especially in the youth of today, because they need our guidance,
Yep.
and to be able to teach them, I do, and I would love to be able to offer my services as a mentor, because we did see a lot of mental changes or, in a person's mindset after lockdown,
Yeah, sure.
and we got to do something about that, and so if I could just take, one person at a time to help and develop them, and I try and do that at every show I do, because even though we're at a barber show where there's amazing barbers here, the one thing is every expert starts off as a beginner.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's one of the things is that we have to realize no one is perfect in this world. You're not perfect, I'm not perfect. So we all make mistakes, but as long as we learn from them, and we need to portray that to the younger generation of barbers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly fine. 'Cause, I mean, the amount of conversation I have, and a lot of young barbers or new to the industry barbers, guys who maybe are in a second or third career, will come and chat to me as to what to do.
Yeah.
And that's passion's there, the enthusiasm there, the energy. They see barbering as a really positive thing. And there does need to be a step up now where we're showing ourselves to be a really clear, honest, honourable industry.
Yeah.
So that we're something to be proud of. That captures this moment of enthusiasm.
I think the one thing is for myself, it's just like realizing it's like why if they want to develop themselves in a career, right? Just cut hair. And what I mean by that is I know it sounds like such a non type of answer or whatever, but that's what a barber does. And then when we go into different categories such as teaching on stage or teaching in a college or doing photo shoots or anything like this, I think that is the development, but that has to come with time.
Yeah.
Because you can't become a teacher, I wouldn't say, you have to have at least a minimum of 5 years experience because remember, you need to you're not just showing someone how to do a fade or anything like that. You're actually helping developing a mindset, of why are they cutting hair, and that's the one thing is it's just like it's to become a teacher or an educator. There's so much more to it than just doing a haircut on stage.
Here's your sections here.
Yeah, so there's a lot more to it but also, what's the big rush? Sometimes we have to give some time.
Just let things distill and
Yeah,
get there,
I mean, what's the big rush to jump on stage right away after the first year? I know it looks exciting, but it's like, I know it's all exciting, but I think that one of the key important factors is that just like, just develop your clientele where you're making money and you're supporting your lifestyle, it could be your house, your car, your children, and then, then start investing in further education, further photo shoots, learn how to do photo shoots. Then you start, your connections, your friendships in the industry.
Yeah, get those strong foundations in place.
I think the key thing is friendships in the industry. That's how you start going up the ladder, you might say. But then, what I want all the viewers and also the listeners to realize or to question, there's two things you need to question in life. One, what type of barber do you want to be? And you have to ask yourself that each day. But then the second thing is, with all these goals you want, and all these dreams, what's going to happen when you reach them?
When you get them. Yeah.
That's what we have to question. Like, I will. That's my best advice to offer to all the viewers and listeners. Ask yourself those questions each day.
Yeah.
Because as we get, further in our careers, further in life, our success ideas change.
Yeah.
And for myself, I just want to be happy, and I love what I do. I just, for me, being a barber or an educator or where I am in life, I was there at the right time, at the right place when the barbering trend kicked off in 2008, 2009. I was the only barbering training provider. I was the third barbering training provider in the UK. So of course, but because of my background, I used to work for Vidal Sassoon. I used to work in their academies. So I went through their training program to become a teacher. So I did stage work before the barbering trend happens, because I'm trained in both women's and ladies' hair. And so I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And and that's where I'm at.
So,
you
but
know?
now, so you've had a big change in the fact that you're no longer a working barber as such.
Yeah,
You don't
that's
stand
correct,
behind a
yeah.
chair. You're not involved in salons and all that, and barber shops or any of that now. And you're kind of, you've distilled yourself into your training, which is obviously been your kind of deep-seated passion running all the way through your career.
So I really focus on online courses now. So I teach online courses. So my online courses are available. And then I also travel the world. So I work with, so I do a private education, one of them. So meaning, so a barbershop can hire me.
Right.
So I can travel to their barbershop throughout the world. But I mostly really love working with product companies. So I work with, there's a few brands. I work with the four main brands I work with. So I'm an Andis global educator. So I work for the Clipper company. I also work for a scissor company called Yoy Scissors, where we're producing our own range of scissors.
Okay.
And then, so the product brand. So for the barbering world, I work. I have a very close relationship with Captain Fawcett, where we actually have our own signature range, which is called Barberism. So it's for beards, shaving, and so forth.
Gorgeous aftershave as well, mate.
Oh yes.
The great smell of Sid.
Oh yeah. Oh Jesus. So and then the other brand, it's actually kind of like a unisex hairdresser brand called 9 Yards from Sweden. So I just became a global brand ambassador for them. So I'll be offering a lot of education. So we're going to like for example September. I'm supposed to be going to I'm going to Norway with Captain Fawcett, and then I go to Australia. I'm flying all the way to Australia to do a tour of education for 9 Yards, and then I will be going to where am I? I was supposed to be going to. There's a big barber show actually in Russia. I was supposed to be going to, and then so there's another trip with Captain Fawcett I'll be going to, and that's just in September.
Wow.
So
you're as busy as ever.
yeah, I mean the thing is,
Are you still enjoying that though? Do you get a buzz from the tour?
I do. It's a bit tricky of a buzz because I think as I'm getting older, I'll be honest with you, life is, I'll be honest with you, sometimes I just rather just be at home, making dinner, for my partner and
not sitting in an airport lounge.
Yeah, and I'd rather just be with my little doggy, my cat, and then looking at fashion magazines and
yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just like certain things in life where, I still get a buzz. I do love traveling, but I love meeting new people.
Yeah.
But also with my experience in development with education and also show work, platform artists, and also working with distributors and product companies, it's a lot easier for me to work with that and just to get people excited, And
are you involved with the kind of imagery, the look of the brands as they relaunch?
Yeah. So to a certain degree. So for example, like with Captain Fawcett, I just did their hair care campaign.
Yeah.
That was last year in Birmingham. We did a 2-day photo shoot, and so that was launched throughout the world.
Beautiful.
So we had a famous model, Ricky Hall, who also was part of Captain Fawcett. So by having these, and also what I do is it's like when I work for other brands or scissor or clipper companies, like because of my experience, I also put knowledge into, so like when I would speak, I talk to 9 Yards and offer them ideas because they're launching their new color in September, October time.
Okay.
Like basically October, they're launching their new hair color range.
Right.
So I've been giving them input now, but also I then have to go to Sweden beforehand to do the product testing.
Yeah.
So when they get their hair
so
color.
you do get very involved throughout the whole.
Yeah. I mean,
throughout the whole bit.
I try to because I think what happens is it's one of the difficulties of when you launch a product and it doesn't work or it gets negative feedback. So I try my best to prevent that happening.
Yeah.
So that's why I have to come in and my testing ability. I tested through extreme,
Yeah. But you see, everyone I've spoken to, and I've spoken to a lot of barbers who, I've worked with Sid, or I've been on stage with Sid, or Sid mentored me, or I worked with Sid and he took me on some tours with him, and it's all really, really positive. I mean, your reputation is unpeached. It's lovely.
Yeah.
But
I'm just quite shocked to hear all this.
No, it's lovely.
But yeah, thank you.
There is a really, and the one thing is, it's that kind of real integrity that comes through from you. Do you find that draining when you see other educating companies not having that level of commitment to being honest about it?
I think you know what it is.
We are seeing a lot of companies arrive.
I think it's just a shame. I think it's they see sometimes a product company is a quick buck.
Yeah.
But for me, I know what it's like to use an awful product in a barbershop or a hair salon, and it doesn't give me the results I want.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one of the funniest things is if you speak to Richie from Captain Fawcett, I'm like a cocktail mixer. I make my own products from other products. So, like, I always mix products together to create what I want. And I think one of the key important factors is with these product companies, like there's so many here at this show.
Yeah.
I think they, like with anything, if we're going to do something, do it right.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the companies I work for, they're not the biggest companies in the world, but I prefer that because I have close-knit situation with them, meaning if I don't like something, I can tell them. They become friends because there's going to be times I have to spend...
And they're wanting more than you just shoving your name on it. They are wanting, They are wanting, your input. They want your impact. They want, you are sharing your integrity with that product.
Oh, totally. It's like I don't want to put my name to something that's dodgy or a bad product.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you, I've done that before, and it never sat right with me.
No.
And that's me being honest with you. I mean, I'm not perfect. There are times when I'm like, if I had to endorse something, it was, I have to be honest with everyone. I've done things where I thought it was just like, when I went through financial difficulty, and I was like, I got to do this for that reason. And you know what? It never sit well with me. But I never not did my job properly.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah. So now the product companies and the products I use, I am fully committed with them. I absolutely love them. I can't say how much I love Anders Clippers enough. It's just amazing.
Yeah. No, that's cool. And so just to take us back to the training for a moment, what would be your advice to a 17-year-old school leaver that was thinking about barbering, or a 32-year-old plumber who hates being a plumber and wants to retrain as a barber? Yeah,
that's absolutely an amazing question there because
Sorry, mate.
It's a two-part, which is amazing. Now, for the 17-year-old, it's kind of like weird. It's like I would love to bring the 17-year-old back to the old school way, meaning let him, the best thing is if you picture a 17-year-old going to his barber and say, oh, this looks great, maybe I should give barbering a try. I would actually recommend him to volunteer as like a Saturday guy.
Okay,
and to do a couple Saturdays for free just to see what it's like on the other end. And, and talk to the barber and really find a mentor. That's one of the key things is trying to find a mentor right away. And then for that age group, 17, I would then recommend speaking to their local college about the barbering program there. And then speaking to the barber again, and then getting a job inside the barbershop and start an apprenticeship that way.
Yeah. And there needs to be some confidence for these guys to be aware that if they're in a barber's that isn't training them in conjunction with their colleges, that they need to leave, they need to find someone that will. And to
Definitely.
be picky about which barbers, look at the companies, research the company and find which one you think is going to suit you.
Well, one of the difficult things is like when I had my apprenticeship program, so I had plenty of students that were interested, but I had to try and help them find jobs inside these barbershops. Now, the thing is, I would actually have to go to these barbershops and I would actually have to kind of do a health and safety review, meaning like take a look at their barber sides and make sure that they're clean or the place is, it's like safe for this young learner, young barber to work there.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you got to be kidding me. Because this is before, especially before COVID and then, afterwards. It was a very difficult time and it was a bit disappointing, to be honest with you. But there's plenty of young ones wanting to be barbers.
Yeah.
But the problem is, it's like the barbershops don't have time to invest. They
get very disillusioned very quickly, I think. And you can get it. They want to get on, they found something they're interested and excited about. They go look and actually find it's got none of that excitement to it.
I mean, and that's like, I think really taking what barbershops need to do is really invest. They have to see it as an investment because right now they're not going to get someone with 10 years experience walking into the barbershop and say, please give me a job. Because that's what the barbers, because they're so busy doing haircuts that they don't have time to train someone.
Yeah.
And that's the key thing,
Yeah.
or to look over work or whatever. That's the biggest pet thing people are saying to me. Now, as we move on to so I would definitely recommend an apprenticeship program for the young barber, the young future barber. Now, for a 32-year-old plumber that hates plumbing, wants to go into
wife, kids, mortgage.
So that's one of the tricky things. So one, I would first recommend for them to have enough money saved up to get them through the training time, and to support the wife, the kids, the mortgage. Then, what I would recommend. So we have a lot of famous academies here in the UK. We got Menspire. We got London School of Barbering. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I used to be on that list, but I no longer have training academies, no longer myself. But you know what? The thing about these academies, there's a lot more now. So it's like almost on their doorstep, So, but I think the thing is, one, if you're going to invest in your career, invest in the time to research.
Yeah.
Find out what type of barber or what style you're into. Because there's some barbers that just concentrate on just doing fades. Some places scissor work. It's a choice, But I think one of the key important factors when these young ones, for the young barbers, or wanting to go into this field, really think about their career, barbering as a career, not a job.
Yeah. So, be thinking about step 2, step 3, step 4, not just that first course.
I mean, I think the thing is, not just about the first course, because it's not like you just take one course or one learning opportunity and that's it.
Your life's changed, you're done.
Because you have to think about other ways to make money in providing services in the clientele. So meaning offer wet shaves, beard designs, beard trims, beard color, hair color, maybe scalp massages or scalp treatments, not just a fade, and also product retail. So these things we need to, for the young barbers to have careers, we have to think past just doing, you're not going to make money just doing haircuts all day. Let's think about providing a career where you take a look at different type of services we can offer the clients.
And it is a privilege. I mean, we've trained and had our apprentices qualify. I've now got one shop that is all homegrown. Everyone's been through.
Perfect.
And I'm so proud of that.
Yeah.
But it's a very stressful, difficult addition to a company owner's job to bring in an apprenticeship. So there has to be a belief that it's right.
An apprenticeship program is not for everyone, right? Let's be honest, I mean, what you did was correct because now you have a whole barbershop full of staff that you've trained to your standard.
Yeah.
But you had to take that as an investment.
Yeah, a long time ago.
But also, out of those 8 barbers that work there, whatever, I don't know exactly how many, you changed 8 individuals' lives.
Yeah.
And, and that's why you should be so proud of yourself as a business owner. But
I think the more companies that embrace that will get past this kind of this lack of barbers, this lack of quality. And a lot of people say, well, if I'm not going to train them up and then they're going to leave. It's like, well, but other people will leave. You've left other companies in the past. People move. As long as we're all doing it, there's enough people to keep moving around.
Exactly. I totally agree with you on this, 200%. And that's the thing is that's the biggest fear. Why am I going to train someone when then they're just going to leave?
Go.
But also, why don't we think about a way where we give them the opportunity not to leave us? So if they want to open up their own shop, okay, maybe make them a business partner.
Let's get involved
involved. Maybe just be the investment for them. There's other ways about this.
And I think educating them into what their future is rather than just waiting for them to get offered an extra tenner a day or whatever at the barber shop up the road.
I mean, that's the thing is, there has to be reasons why they want to leave.
Yeah.
So if they are leaving you, it's like, one, they're unhappy with something going on either in the barbershop or their career.
Yeah.
And as a business owner, all we have to do is talk to them.
But it comes back to that first statement you made, which was, you need to be a mentor. It's more than just an employer. You have a responsibility to, be part of their life and part of their career. It's not about being a boss, it's about being a leader.
Yeah,
good phrase.
I'll be honest with you.
I like that.
And that's the thing is, it's so easy. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, being a barber and being a barbershop owner, we will not be millionaires, right? I don't care what they tell you on social media, or the type of lifestyle we see on social media. You know, you don't be, you know, you're not going to be like Jay-Z or something, you know? But if you want to make money in this industry, okay, let's think, you know, like, you don't, like, you make enough money in the industry, but like, you're not going to be millionaires. Let's think, let's just be happy in life.
Yeah.
So, you know, okay, the less stress we have trying to get new staff and everything, let's develop your own staff.
Yeah.
You know, take effort to develop them, because it's gonna work out for you. Why, like, yeah, okay, if, you know, when, like, it's better to develop your own clientele,
Yeah.
develop your own staff, you know, and it's gonna see the outcome. It's just investment. It's
Yeah.
putting money in the bank.
Investment.
I mean, so many of them do that electronic Bitcoin stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Bitcoin, Barber, whoever, you know. So
Love it. Good, thank you, mate. How's the call? How have you been on stage? How's it been? You just said
been-
this is your first sit down since
I'm not gonna
9:30
lie.
this
I'm
morning.
like really struggling right now. My throat is so tired and dry. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really struggling. We had
Gone well?
we had a smashing day on the Andis stage. I've been here since 8 o'clock this morning. Model prep. Then we had presentation, and then the barber battle. So I've been on stage. So this is the first time I've actually sat down.
man.
So when I went to use the toilet, that was my break.
Oh, man.
So it's now after this, I have to go back and pack all my gear and then get ready for the Barber Awards tonight, the
Excellent.
big dinner. So
Perfect. Well,
so it's
hopefully
very
I'll see you
exciting.
there a bit later on.
I hope so. And
Thank you.
Maybe we have a can of Coke together, yeah,
Hey,
or a
mate.
Pepsi or something.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for your time. I really appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Listen, one last thing for I just have to, famous thing, all of the experts all start off as beginners.
Yeah.
So don't give up.
Excellent.
That's all I got to say last.
Sid, thank you very much. That's it. Don't be a boss, be a leader. I like that. You've been listening to The Noble Barber. I'm Anthony Laban. This has been Sid Sottung. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hi there. If you've got a story or know someone with a story or have a topic that you think we should cover that we haven't yet, please get in touch. We'd love to speak to you.